Hello friends, today we are going to start talking about multi-step problems, okay? So we need our notebook page first. Actually, we need to go over our homework first. So why don't we get our homework from yesterday first? Alright, so your homework from yesterday. You should have found 54 equals 6 times 9. And then 5 times 8 equals 40. 6 times 7 equals 42. 9 times 4 equals 36. 5 times 9 is 45. 35 equals 5 times 7. 6 times 4 equals 24. 4 times 8 equals 32. 10 times 12 equals 120. And the last one, 7 times 7 equals 49. Those are the 10 equations that you should have come up with. Now, let's take a look at our notebook page for today. All right, so we are talking about multi-step word problems, okay? So you're going to be able to solve multi-step problems using the 4 operations. So we're going to do more than one thing at a time. We're going to be doing at least 2 steps. So we're going to use at least 2 operations. How to be a super problem solver. We're going to first read the problem carefully. We're going to use keywords to determine which operations to use. We're going to think through our equations, and we're going to solve, okay? So, what we're going to do first is scribble out the glue here part, because we're not going to cut and glue something else. We're just going to write right on this. First thing we're going to do is think of our 4 operations. First one we're going to start with is addition. Write that in that top part of that first box. Now think, what's the inverse or the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So then over here, we're going to write subtraction. Now, addition and subtraction go together. Now we got to think through our last 2, multiplication and division. Which one is more like addition? Multiplication is. So we're going to write that in this bottom box, multiplication. Then our last operation is division. I'm going to write that over here, division. Now, let's think through some keywords that we might see to help us find what kind of operations we need to use. For addition, you might see the word sum. You might see in all. You might see combine. You might see plus. You might see add. You might see and. You might be comparing or having 2 different things. And. Okay. Then you also might see all together. Now let's think of the opposite. What would undo all of that? Well, you might see less. You might see difference. You might see minus. You might see left, fewer, or take away. Those are some of the key ones that we'll talk about and see most often. For multiplication, we've done these for the last few times, so you know that if we see the word times, if we see multiply, if we see product, if we see in all again, this one can be multiplication or division. We got to think through, are we having multiple groups over and over, or are we just putting 2 things together for addition? Okay, you also might see times as many. Now for division. Think through division is when we are splitting things apart. So you might see split. you might see divide. You might see equal or equal groups. Might ask you to share. Think through, are we putting these into, are we splitting things up into other groups? Are we making multiple groups? Are we taking away? Or are we combining them, putting them together? Okay, so we're going to think through what each operation means as we read our problems. So let's look. We actually are only going to do 2, so you can scribble at this bottom one. We didn't get to that one in class. So let's take a look at these first 2. We've got Amazing Math Man. He solved 25 problems on Monday and 32 problems on Tuesday. If his goal is to solve 100 word problems this week, how many does he have left to solve? So we got to think through our directions. We read the problem carefully. We're going to find keywords to determine which operations to use. Well, let's see. We know on Monday and Tuesday. So we know we have 2 days of the week already. We know he has some problems left. He has to find those. They are left. What did those words tell us to do? And left. Well, and meant we have to do addition. So we're going to write that on that first line. Then that left tells us, we're going to have to use subtraction. Now I'm thinking through my equations. I might do that when I'm showing my work. I'm okay with that. Let's think back through the problem. We know we have to use addition and subtraction. We're trying to find how many problems he has left. Okay? So we know Monday is 25. We know Tuesday is 32. And we know his goal is 100. Now we got to think, how are we going to use these problems? Well, we know his goal is to get up to 100. He's done a few problems already. So what are we going to do with those 2 numbers he's already done? Well, that and tells us we need to add. So we're going to do 25 plus 32. Solve that. 5 plus 2 is 7. 3 plus 2 is 5. So now we know he's done 57 problems. But was our question to figure out how many he's done? No, it's to figure out how many he has left. Left told us subtraction. So now we're going to take our goal of 100 and subtract 57. Need to do some borrowing here. 10 minus 7 is 3. 9 minus 5 is 4. 0 minus nothing is 0. So then we know from his 100 goal, he's done 57. He has 43 problems left. All right, I want you to try number 2 now. Read through it carefully. Look for those key words and think, how am I going to use these numbers to help me answer my question? Unpause the video when you're ready to see. All right, so for this one, we knew that twice helped us know we were going to need multiplication. Then we knew that word total and tells us we are going to have to use addition. Now, you'd want to figure out your multiplication first, since that's what we came through first. So she flew twice as many miles for May. So May's number, we don't know. But April's number was 32. And we need to find out our total. We don't know that yet. But we can use April's number to help us because we know May was twice. So we can do 32 times 2 to figure out May's number. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. So we know May's is 64. We also know April's. Now we need to figure out our total miles. To figure out total or in all, we need to add. Okay, and that and helps us know add. So we're going to take our two numbers that we know, our 64 plus our 32. Add them up. 4 plus 2, think back, not multiplying. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. So our total is 96, and our solution we need to write 96 miles, because it's wondering total miles. All right. Well, that was what we had in class. We started thinking through those different parts. What do I know? What am I trying to find out? Okay. We are going to practice with just 2 problems on page 343, just 2 problems. When you're done with that, upload a finished one of your homework. And then you're also going to work on division worksheet just to practice your problems. You will have a catch-up day later this week too, so try and get through, I'd say aim for half of this at least today, okay? And that's all we had for math. Thanks for joining, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.